How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Fu Show. I am your host, Coach Ali Fusho. Today, I have a very special guest. She is actually going to be my first female guest. So we've had a lot of amazing, male coaches, but of course, in this day and age, we do have to give credit to everyone that is lifting. So that involves the men and women. And right here in my gym, in my home gym, I have one of the most or up and coming. I guess that's a safe word to use. An up-and-coming lifter here in the Philippines. I have Miss Kyla Gancayco. Kyla, say hi.
Hello, it's me,
Okay.
Kyla G.
Kyla G. All right. So if you guys want to follow her right away, her Instagram is at Kyla Gancayco. All right. So to those of you who are not familiar with Kyla, and I'll be surprised if you're not, I will be asking her like some questions to make you know her background. I'll make you know like what she's currently doing right now. And I think that's something that we should start with. Kyla, can you like let everyone know or let me know all the, I guess, the companies or the anything work related that's fitness related work that you're currently doing right now so that people can get a better idea on who you are?
So mainly just two for now. I'm a movement coach at the movement studio. So I'm a group fitness instructor. And I also coach at Rebel. I do personal training. Though, still, disclaimer, still kind of new as a coach. So yeah, mainly group fitness instructor. And on the side, I'm also a graphic designer. That's not fitness related, but I'm just like full-time freelance life. Yeah.
A full-time freelance life. So, but you and we actually met, I believe, early or mid 2021.
Yes.
This was in my previous house. We were doing a shoot for this one supplement company. I guess we could mention it, Nutrition Depot. But before we formally met each other, I think, well, I don't know about you, but I've seen you online already. I'm not sure if you knew me at that time.
Yeah.
Before.
I knew because you were coaching a friend. Are you still coaching her?
Yeah. So when we met there, it was like, of course, it was for lifters. It's a very small community here in the Philippines, but it's definitely growing. I've seen the community grow from 2015 all the way now to 2022. That's 7 years later. I'm happy to see that there's a lot of lifters, both men and women, especially women, that are joining these powerlifting competitions, weightlifting, or anything that's revolving around a barbell sport or any fitness-related sport. So at that time when Kyla and I met, I was, of course, wondering like, oh, I wonder if she's nice because because as you can see in the video, if you're not listening to this on Spotify but on YouTube, you can see that, man, this girl got some delts. So I was happy to see that when we met up for the shoot, she was of course one of the kindest people kindest and friendliest people that I've ever met in the fitness industry. And on top of that, I saw on her Tumblr, it's not, where's your Tumblr right now? Show. It's just to not necessarily expose you, but she is a woman of culture as well. She's a big fan of anime and I guess anything or Japanese media related. She's a fan of that. And just to share with everyone out there, probably 80-90% of Filipino lifters,
I noticed that too.
exactly,
Yeah.
are fans of anime. So what a world that we are in now where it is the norm to be an anime watcher or just a Japanese culture appreciationist, whatever. So ever since then, that's when Kyla and I formally met. And of course, from that time onwards, I as somebody who's, we're following each other on Instagram, I can definitely see that every month or every few months, definite progress on her end in her lifts and in her coaching as well. And I know she mentioned to everyone that she looks at herself as a beginner coach. And that's great that you're not going to think of yourself as so high and mighty already. Unlike some people before, of course, I'm not calling name or like mentioning names, but I'm happy that Kyla is definitely doing the necessary steps. As she mentioned, she is coaching in the movement studio and in Rebel. Actually, just to talk about the movement studio more, I've never been. Can you explain like how it is there?
So the movement studio, it's sort of like a mix of strength training and cardio.
Okay.
So if you see the studio, it's divided into two parts. So there's a part that has like a bench with dumbbells and kettlebells, slam balls, and then there's the side that has the treadmills. It's split into two. And depending on your coach, of course, you get a mix of strength training and runs. You're kind of switching from the floor to the tread. We call it the floor. The floor is where all the weights are. So it's mainly a convenient way to get in both your strength training and cardio. It's an hour long. It's
an hour long.
Yeah, it's just an hour. I don't know if you think that's too long.
No, like,
yeah.
If it's tuloy-tuloy.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Well, there's a lot of. I mean, you get rest. Ideally, you get you get rest in between, and it's an hour. It depends on the style again. So we have coaches who are more fond of running, so they'll make you do more sets.
So it depends on the coach.
Yeah, personally, I'm not. I like to focus more on the strength side, so my running, it's not as much, very short. I won't make them do something I know I can't do myself.
Because you can't keep up, you can't demonstrate.
I can't do like long runs, so I'm not gonna make them do like a 1 minute run. But there are instructors definitely who can do that. So, it's
really class based.
Yeah, so it's sort of like boot camp in a way. It's not exactly just HIIT. It's not just cardio.
So it's a good mix of cardio and strength.
Yeah.
How many students or how many people can attend at the same time?
Right now, at most 8. So it's actually nice because you get to more focus as compared to a very large crowd.
Precisely, because if you were gonna say like anything upwards of 15, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
Of course, as the coach, you're going to be panicking.
Yeah. Originally, though, it was like I think 16 or 18 max because you do have people on both sides. But ever since the pandemic, social distancing and all, we just kept it all. We have it into 2, and everyone just does it on one side already. But I don't know if they're gonna bring it back anytime soon. But for now, it's 8 people max.
Okay. Well, until then, at least for you as the coach, you'll be able to keep a watchful eye over anyone. So this Nabubin Studio, it's been alive before the pandemic, right? Or is it a pandemic baby?
Yeah, it's like not even a year before pandemic. So it launched in July 2019. Okay. So when it was picking up, it's like when pandemic hit. Yeah. So we continued online. So
I saw that. Yeah, exactly. But that's a great testament to the fact that the quality of the coaching that you guys have, or the overall environment that you guys were able to provide for all your members, was really of top-notch quality. Because the fact that you guys survived the pandemic and are currently thriving during, I guess we can still say it's still the pandemic right now. So here at oh my gosh, we're at September nga pala, no?
Yeah, it's almost 2023.
So here at September 2022, I'm happy to see that the Movement Studio is still up and about and kicking. And there, I see the stories. I see you. I see Ida's stories. Like, everyone is still there, and I'm happy to see that fitness is really evolving. Now, you mentioned that you're also part of Rebel. I haven't mentioned this on the show yet, but I also was a part of Rebel coaching for a while before. How has the experience been for you so far?
It's good for me because it's a little different. No, it's very different from group fitness because, you get to see, and I'm sure you know this as a coach yourself, that it's nice to see the progress of a person up close as compared to like as a group, your attention is divided. Not that it's bad, but it's just a different experience. So it's been good, I guess, in a way that it gave me the opportunity to see what it's like to be a personal trainer, not just a group fitness instructor. Because I've been doing this group fitness since 2017, I think. So
5 years already.
Yeah. Though TMS was just the one I'm doing now, but I've done it before. And it's different when you're able to see the client's progress up close.
And I guess you're able to form a more like a deeper connection with your personal
definitely
client.
Yeah, and it's everything is catered to them, everything is unique to them, everything it's different per person, and you see everyone's different strengths.
Yeah.
but it's always nice to see it up close, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, group fitness, personal training, they're all good, and of course, it depends on the client as well because sometimes they want to be in a class
Yeah,
environment, and sometimes they want to be the only thing that the coach is like
Yeah.
concerned about. So I'm happy that you're able to like effectively do both. Before we pressed record, you mentioned that your family is quite athletic. So,
Just a little bit.
so your parents and your siblings are all related to anything like sports or fitness related. Is that the reason why you started you wanted to become a coach, or that you are a coach, or how did it end that how did it come to this point where you're starting to coach around?
So it goes way back.
At least we
We were,
the platform.
to be honest, all five were five. All five of us were actually forced into sports. Like, we low key hated our parents for it a while because you're just like, we started with swimming together. And at that time, I remember there were really days where we were just like, fuck, like we're really praying that the pool is closed or that the rain, like that, or I don't know, any reason for training to be canceled. There were days we were really hoping for it. But like, looking back, it actually changed the way all of us grew up because it became a part of our lives that even when we were done swimming, we all looked for our own like sports. We all looked. So Mateo continued swimming. My sister and I went to basketball.
Okay.
My other sister did frisbee. Marco did all sorts of sports.
Okay.
So
very
we all.
athletic.
So at the end of the day, like we all ended up looking for something like extracurricular. We all wanted to stay active. When it comes to coaching, well, it started because of my sister actually. So when I graduated, she was already doing group fitness in a cycling studio.
Okay.
And I think it was like I was about to graduate and there were auditions upcoming and I never actually went to that studio.
Auditions to be an instructor.
Yeah. And she dragged me into it.
Dragged.
And she convinced me to try it out. Because I wasn't really I wasn't really taking classes. It was more of like, maybe it's something you'd be interested in. I tried it out. It's cycling. I'd never cycled. I auditioned and I literally like fell off my bike.
Oh my god! Wait, how?
In the mid, like
If you
if
don't
you
mind
do
me asking.
the indoor cycling, it's like
Yeah.
there's the cleat and then you have to clip it in. So if you're not doing it properly, it can kind of snap out and then you trip. And since I wasn't actually going regularly, I didn't know how to do it properly, and so I was just practicing like songs in my head and thinking like, oh, okay, it's doable, but I never actually practiced it on the bike.
Yeah.
So when I did my audition, it was a lot faster than I imagined. And then I kind of fell off my bike and my sister kind of like crawled into the shadows and
Oh my god!
in embarrassment. But I bounced back. I threw in some weird dance moves that I thought were the coolest shit at that time. And I don't know, it worked. Like they saw potential. Obviously, I did shit in the auditions, but they saw potential, so they gave me a shot.
Oh, that's great.
And,
That's great.
yeah. And then
is there a video of these sick dance moves?
Thankfully, no.
Oh, come on. There must be a CCTV or something.
Let's not look for it. So that was like what led me into group fitness, and then eventually like I tried out different studios, and then I ended up in TMS, and I guess TMS was like the most me because it had that strength. Like
The mix that you mentioned a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually don't know the answer to this. What did you study in college?
I studied communication. Very, very vague, very flexible.
Okay. While you were studying communications, did you like envision that you'd be a coach or group coach or personal trainer?
No,
No.
not at all. No, like fitness. Like at no point in college did I see myself doing anything fitness related in my future. Yeah.
So you actually can say that it's all because your sister dragged you to that audition.
Yeah,
That was the
like-
first
like-
step that
yes.
made everything like happen to where it is today.
Yeah, I mean we were all a fit family, I guess, and I would always work out with my sister, but I never saw it as something that I would be doing, as an instructor.
Yeah,
So,
like for your professional career, it was
Yeah.
never okay. So, with that in mind, I mean, actually, there are a lot of people who have the same scenario wherein they don't have the college degree to be a personal trainer or a strength and conditioning coach. I'm an example of that. I didn't graduate in sports science or anything. I graduated with a philosophy degree. So,
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I'm a philosophy major. I am not using it at all in anything that I'm. I
Same.
mean, of course, we can just say that, okay, communications, philosophy, sure, the jobs that we have right now aren't necessarily within that
Yeah, yeah,
industry,
yeah.
but it can help us to like go further. Like your ability to communicate.
Yeah.
Of course, we're speaking in general terms, but your ability to communicate is extremely important if you're going to be a coach. Well, philosophy is a bit more of a push, but I guess my
You can train mindset.
thinking,
you
the
know?
mindset, the logic on, or I guess the logic on picking
Yeah.
which training program is going to be best for this client, etc. So that's something that I think is very, very common. Even though if you don't have a sports science degree, a lot of people still end up getting into the fitness industry because I guess it's been in their life already, and
Yeah.
they can see, just like the people that saw you in the audition, they saw the potential despite falling off a bike. People saw that this young lady right here had the potential to really be a good instructor. So I'm happy that they gave you a shot about that already. Okay, so actually, I didn't know that you were you graduated in
I
communications.
didn't know you were in philosophy.
Well, this
I
is why we have these
Yeah.
conversations to get to know each other, and of course, for everyone else to know you as well. So, so you've always been fit. You've been into group fitness. What made you now focus on powerlifting?
That was another thing that kind of was by chance.
By chance?
Yeah, so I was in track and field in my last 2 years in college, and that's when I started lifting weights for the first time because it was part of the training. Again, I have to emphasize though, I was in the field part, not the track part.
Okay.
So, I mean, everyone has to do weights, but I just have just so no one thinks I'm a runner. So yeah, that's when I started lifting. And I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. I'm actually kind of strong. And you know, when you kind of get a taste of it, and then you do your progressive overload, and then you kind of see your progress, and you're like, I'm stronger than like that. Like what you said, you asked me earlier, if I imagine I'd be lifting 100 kilos. Like when
Yeah.
I started, I was already like, wow, I'm lifting 60 kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm like benching that.
Oh, benching 60 kilos to all the men out there that can't bench 60 yet.
Yeah, but so that's where I started it. And afterwards everything was just for maintenance, like just lifting to maintain, to stay healthy. And then I forgot exactly how it started. I think it was actually my brother naman who kind of dragged me into it. He was the one who signed up.
So she's basically saying that
My
a lot of this
siblings.
is because of family pressures.
Yeah, no, we would go to the gym together, and we would both try to, ego lift together. And he eventually signed up for a meet. I think
Okay.
but that he signed up for 2020, a meet that was in like 2020 March. So
Okay. So yeah.
it didn't push through. But he was the one who got into it first, and he invited me to try it out. Like he said, maybe you should consider also joining the meet. But at that time I was abroad. But pandemic happened, so it was canceled anyway.
Yeah.
But when I got back home, and when that didn't push through, we still continued training together. We got the home gym, and eventually, I just considered it like powerlifting. I think I'm strong? Question mark. Maybe it's something I could do.
All right.
Question mark.
Just to let everyone who's watching right now, currently, what are your maxes for your squat, bench, and deadlift?
I just say my deadlift and my bench.
We have to be transparent.
Okay. Well, my squat used to be 120, but now it's just 115.
Okay. Well, that's a 5 kilo difference. Don't worry
but
about
it's
it.
like a grindy 115. It's like a very with questionable depth. So
I watched the train, so yeah, I can affirm.
and then
Your
my bench is Depends if you count the pause.
It's fine. We're not strict. We're not a
My
strict federation here.
my gym PR is 75 at least. I've
Okay.
never done that in the meet because I've only had like one meet.
One meet. Yeah. Then
And
your
my deadlift is 150. That I can say
150.
for sure.
All right. So, let's just say 120. 120 squat, a 75 bench, and a 150 kilo deadlift. So those are definitely impressive numbers. You are in the what weight class? Sorry.
63.
63.
kilos, yeah.
Okay. That's actually a really, really good number, especially the deadlift. I've seen Kyla deadlift like a couple of times already. Definitely, her strength is really up there. But of course, I was talking with her coach about she a bit more controlled, but overall, she's really, really headed towards the right direction. And I am pretty sure, no pressure on you, but I'm pretty sure that before 2023 ends, like way before 2023 ends, you'll be lifting 200 already. I can bet it. So pressure on you, Raymond Debuque, who
I
is
mean,
currently
I
your
hope
coach.
so, but
It's
that
it's
wasn't
really
even
far.
like in my.
No,
my
I'm
head.
the one that's putting it out there. I'm the one who's putting pressure on both
Yeah,
you
you're
and
also
Raymond.
the one who like made me lift more than what I was supposed to lift that day.
But okay, I'm just gonna say you're lifting 97.5 kilograms, and then your coach is the only time that your coach can watch you. So might as well go for the 2 plates, and it's easier to load.
yeah. Fair.
You want to do the extra math?
Yeah. So
But
the
yeah.
rest of my weeks, I was already doing that weight.
See?
It's okay though. It's easy.
But yeah, so right now, you're in powerlifting just because your brother invited you, and now it's something that can you say that you're enjoying it? Of course.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I've said this to people that I talk to who also lift, and it's like it's funny because for me, powerlifting it's like your stress relief, but at the same time, it's like the cause of your stress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's precisely it. I mean, it's your relief, but it's also the
Yeah,
stressor.
like it's like such a big frustration because you get so impatient with your progress sometimes, but
Yes.
it's also like the feeling when you actually get it right. It's worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like all the hard work, all the tough sets, all the recovery method, everything that you've been doing leading up to that point is precisely why a lot of people fall in love with powerlifting. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, you can fall in love with whatever sport that you want to do. It's just that the beauty of powerlifting is that on how objective it is. Now you know that you are getting better. I mean, of course, with basketball, the more shots you take or the smoother your dribble is, but it's different from just saying that, hey, I am 30 kilograms stronger than I was 6 months ago or a year ago. Then that's something that you can be really proud of, and that's why a lot of people fall in love with the sport. All right, so on the topic of powerlifting or just lifting in general, I have, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, I have had a number of women approach me. How can I say that? I've had number of women approach me to talk about you. Because no, because they were saying, because they know that that we know each other on social media. Then like, hey, you know that girl Kyla? She's so strong. Like, she's very inspiring. Very like when I see her lives, when I follow her on Instagram, they're like, I love it when I see that she's able to go through the grind. She seems like a very nice girl. And then whenever they say that, I'm like, oh man, when I mentioned this to Kyla, her ego's gonna go. But no,
I still feel like you're lying.
I'm really not lying. No joke. Because I'm able to like converse with a lot of people with the industry, and then of course with female lifting. Really, I mean, it's been rising for how many years already, and it's continually rising. So I'm talking to a lot of female lifters or aspiring female lifters. I am not exaggerating when I say that your name does pop up because you are actually motivating a lot of people. So I know that's
nice
kind
to
of.
know. Well, that's nice to know. I mean, it's still like it's also one of my goals, of course. I'm sure you also know as a coach that it's such a big, like, what's the word? No, that's the word I'm looking for. There's still that idea that if you lift as a woman, you get bulky or you.
Actually, I was gonna ask you about that later.
Yeah, so like it's nice to know that if it inspires people to get into it, like, that's then I'm headed the right direction. Yeah.
And I'm not lying when I say that. So I'm happy that it's really growing. But so those women are inspired by you. Are there any women, local or international, that you're currently looking up to right now?
Yeah, of course. That's
I
why
mean,
I'm like,
like,
yeah.
tell me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I'm so surprised that I'm inspiring someone. It's like, huh? There's so many people that I still look up to. Anyway,
On the local scene, is there any like female lifter that you?
I mean, you already know like Savvy, obviously.
Shout out to you, Savvy.
Savvy and Anya and Bea, like
They're
so
just
many more. Like who else?
basically every woman in every weight category.
I can name more. Like those are the powerlifting women, but there are also like women outside of powerlifting who, like Ida, the one who got me into the movement studio. My sister, like she's a mom and she's still hella strong. I don't know if you've seen her, but like I swear, like you forget that she got pregnant and she got her. Anyway, that's another story. But my sister definitely, like, I wouldn't be in the fitness industry if it wasn't for her.
Wait, so this is the same sister that dragged you to the
spinning,
auditioning? Okay.
Yeah, she's just not a power lifter, but I look up to her. But power lifters, yeah, obviously everyone knows Savvy, Anya, and her monster deadlift.
Super good.
And I don't know if I think her name Christine. That's her name, right?
Well, we'll search her later just to be sure. We forget names.
She 63 kilos and she deadlifted 170.
Oh,
she
really?
broke the record. Like you were the one. Like I think
Well, there are a lot of names that I was commentating
That's
that
why
time.
I am not. There's also a lot of names, so I can't really pinpoint their names.
But you know their lifts.
But I know I followed her too because I was like, wow, like that's the goal. Like she was able to deadlift, I think 170 or 172 or something like that.
Wow, 3 reds basically.
Yeah.
I mean, or close to 3 reds. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm sure that you are going to get. I mean,
Hopefully.
But this is for me years ago. When I first lifted 3 plates, 3 red plates, I was like, oh my god, it feels so good. And I'm sure that you will definitely get to that level as well.
Hope so.
Like with Raymond's help. Oh, pressure Raymond. All right. So you mentioned Ida. And of course, other people from the movement studio. I'm really, of course, I've talked to all of them in like individually before. Massive respect to all of those female lifters. So I guess the ones that I personally know would be Ida and Hannah. Bakani. Very very like fit looking women. So yes, they're not power lifters. I'm sure naman they know how to squat, bench, and deadlift. But massive respect to those people who are really, I guess, spearheading or like being the front line of the movement studio alongside you. I'm just really happy that more and more women are definitely trying to be fit not in the image of fitness that we had 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Wherein it's all pink dumbbells. I mean, there's nothing wrong with pink dumbbells. It's just that there's the definition of a fit woman is much more broad now, and it's not just, hey, can you fit into this super small bikini, etc.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better now. And with that, I want to ask like some of these like, I guess, female lifter related questions, just so that if ever anyone can benefit from this or think about it, it might help them out. You mentioned about that you're happy that more women are lifting now. That was the opposite before because they were afraid to get bulky. They're afraid to lose their femininity. Yeah. And I know it can be a tough situation because femininity, it's not a one track like definition.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? That should people really, like, all women aspire to be like lifters, or how do you, like, should people just stick to what they want?
I mean, everyone has their own goals. I'm not gonna say like everybody should be lifting because it's not for everyone. Not everyone's gonna want to do it. But like people, for me, what I would say more is everyone should find what it is that makes them feel strong. Okay. So for some people, it could be like, I know if you notice, like so many people have gotten into jump rope in the pandemic.
Actually, yeah, because it's easy.
Yeah, it's convenient. But like,
if
that's what their outlet is, that's what makes them feel strong. For me, naman, like why I love powerlifting so much is because it's just I feel like I function better when I exercise, when I gym, when I lift weights, particularly when I lift weights.
Yeah.
And it's reached the point where I can't start my day unless I lift. So I always lift in the morning. And if I don't, I just kind of feel groggy and sluggish throughout the day. And that's just because it's become because it's become a part of me, my routine. And for some people, it's not necessarily gonna be lifting.
Yeah.
For some people, it might be swimming, biking. So many people also have gotten into biking.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, I wouldn't say like everyone should go lift weights, but I think everyone deserves to open their mind to discovering what it is that makes you feel strong.
yeah, and not just be automatically
and-
limited by like the notion before.
Yeah, and don't for me the only not the one problem, but as long as they don't view, because it's hard sometimes when you get a client and they're like, I want to lose weight, I wanna get toned, and then you tell them, okay, let's give you some dumbbells, and they're like, won't that make my shoulders too big?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if it was that easy, my shoulders would be much bigger. I'm sure there are other girls who really try hard to get their shoulders to be big,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't happen that easily. So
Same.
so yeah, it's just like I just want to break that misconception,
Precisely.
but I'm not gonna go to the point to say that everyone should be lifting
Yeah.
weights, though it is my preference, my personal preference.
I mean,
and
we are going to acknowledge that if everyone does lift, they are going to have relatively a more functioning, a healthier body.
Yeah,
But
so-
it's not that, hey, you have to get this barbell and lift it, squat, bench, deadlift.
yes, exactly. Like, a lot of it just depends on your goals. Like, if some people like they don't want to be toned, they just want to be able to move every day. And for them, that's it could be biking, it could be as simple as walking. So, I guess if I don't know if you're asking about female particularly, but if it comes, what is my point? What's I gonna say?
That's fine. As long as everyone gets stronger in how they define like, what strength is
as
for
long
them.
as long as they find what it is that makes them feel strong and that they're able to grow in that sense.
Yeah, just so that no one is gonna live a sedentary, weak life, because just when you're like 30, 40, 50 and then you haven't been moving, any
Yeah.
sense of movement, you need that in your life. So I guess you can just go to the movement studio. Yeah. Nice, clever name though, actually. TMS, it also rolls off the
Yeah,
tongue
yeah, yeah.
quite easily. All right, so another question that might benefit a lot of people is, as a woman, or if there's any difference actually, as a female lifter, are there any special supplements that you'd have to take? Because I know that there are some supplements that are marketed towards women. Do you believe in those, or do you think there's any actual benefit, or what's it for you?
Well, for me, supplements it's what they are. They're supplements. So it's something you take if you just don't have enough of it in a day. And if you're someone like me who's lifting this frequently, more likely or more often than not, you're probably not gonna easily get in enough protein from just eating your meat or chicken. I mean, if you can, then great, right?
Yeah.
But if again, this is just me speaking on like my experience.
Yeah.
You can only eat so much chicken breast in one sitting.
Oh no! I'll stop you. Right. I completely I tried eating chicken breast a lot in college I tried it for like 6 months, and that was like what 7 or so years ago. I hate chicken breast
yeah.
now. I
And
absolutely
even if
hate
it's
chicken.
not chicken breast, like just eating meat in general, it's not easy when you're actually tracking. Like when you
Precisely,
realize, oh shit, like this is how little protein I've been eating every day.
Yeah.
Like if you take what you eat normally without counting and then you actually start counting it and you realize this isn't
damn.
enough, or at least if this is my goal to like be able to lift this amount, this is not gonna get me there. So I would recommend getting like whey isolate, whey protein. Creatine helps, but
Definitely.
yeah, like I wouldn't say they're required. There are ways around it if you're willing to eat that much meat.
Yeah.
But it also depends. Again, it goes back to like what your goals are. Because if
Yeah, exactly.
if you're trying to cut, for example,
You're not gonna consume a mass gainer, right?
yeah,
Something like that,
you're not gonna, and you're also not gonna get in like 150 grams of protein from something as calorie dense as like
Yeah.
I don't know, bacon or something.
Yeah, precisely. So it really does depend on your goals. But the reason why I wanted to ask this to you, I've seen a lot of supplements that market themselves as female oriented products.
Oh.
And I mean, of course, for me, when I first saw it, and of course I held it in my hands, compared one brand, there are two products, the male and the female variant. Literally, the only difference is that, and this is protein, whey protein. The only difference is that the female one just had like 5 grams less of protein.
Oh, I didn't know this.
I mean, that was the product I know. Then, of course, I see a lot of different supplements that, this is for women, because if you take other supplements that are for men, you're gonna, etc.
This is actually news to me, so I didn't know that. Yeah,
I was wondering if you knew any of these.
No, I didn't know that there were like there was whey particularly for women. For me, like protein is protein.
Exactly.
Protein is protein.
You just consume it, right?
Yeah, like 20 grams, 20 grams, 15 grams, 50.
Yeah, regardless of you being male or female, you are still a human that is going to benefit from consuming protein.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say like I'm just gonna get the whey for women.
And here's the annoying thing about it: the whey for women bottle or tub that I saw was pink. It's exactly. It was curvy. And like, so the men one is like a straight tub.
It's the one that it's just like if it comes with collagen,
something like that. But
collagen is like you can be a dude and take collagen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because collagen helps your bones. So I don't know. Like again, supplements are supplements. You could take whey, collagen, creatine. I don't see how it'll be biased towards man or woman. Yeah.
So not. I mean, of course, we are speaking from what we saw. We don't know if example, there's any like hormonal supplements. Sure, maybe, but if it's something like whey, as basic as whey protein, and if you see something that's more like marketed to be tailored for women, I think you should just look the other direction and go for whatever's cheaper and tastes better.
Especially if it's just the difference is the amount. Like I would definitely get the one that has more protein because that's why I'm buying the supplement.
That's why you're buying the protein. Exactly. All right. Next one is that this I know can vary person to person, but in your experience, how do you adjust your training whenever it's that time of the month?
Oh, unfortunately, I am one of those people who it has like minimal effect on.
Don't say unfortunate. That's good for you.
No, I mean like it's good for me, but like I get that question a lot, and I don't know how to answer it because for me, I don't.
You're not bothered by it so much?
I'm not bothered by it. I don't feel weaker. I don't feel stronger. For me, it's just another day gymming. I'll gym as I usually gym. But what I would tell people who ask is, that's, and even if it's not about your period, just generally, like it's always important to listen to your body, which I'm sure. I mean, you hear that a lot. Like, what does it even mean? Listen to your body, but what's my body telling me? If you feel like you're warming up and you're just lifting, let's say, a barbell only, which normally feels light for you, and that palang you're already like getting tired and you feel the exhaustion, then just either stop, take it as a rest day, or do something lighter, even if it's just a walk or maybe just light weights. I would really just suggest to not lift at all. If you feel significantly weaker, of course. It depends. Yeah. So if you feel significantly weaker, it's counterproductive to push yourself when you already know that you're not in the best shape, because you're going to be forcing yourself to lift something that you can't do properly. So you might just end up hurting yourself or straining your body or, over fatigue. And that's the last thing you want, because you won't be able, it will be harder for you to progress because
it's going to be another setback.
Yeah, like let's say you're lifting, you feel weak, and you end up doing it with bad form, and then you get back pain. So it would have been better if you just rested and then did it maybe the next day.
Like literally just 24 hours later, you'd be much better conditioned.
Yeah. So for me, you have every single day, whether or not you feel weak or strong, it's good to pay attention to how your body reacts to certain things. So you also know how you can react to it when another time comes. So like that, like when I was training with you and Raymond, and you were like, just make it 100. Like for me, it's like fine, it's a bigger number, but I know I can do it. I know I feel strong today, and I know that my first few sets felt fine. It's no big deal to add 2.5 kilos. So same goes the other way around. So for me, when I have my period, time of the month, whatever you want to call it, when
go
I'm
about
warming
it?
up, like I don't feel any difference. I don't feel headaches. I don't feel
Wow.
lightheaded. At most, maybe I'll feel dehydrated. I'll just drink more water, and then I'll just continue as this. But yeah, I guess I always just tell people if you have to learn to listen to your body and know when it's time to rest. And the program can always adjust, but it's easier to play it safe than to push yourself more than you should.
Exactly. That's actually really great advice. And I guess on top of that, if you have a coach, consult with your coach as
Yes,
well.
yes, definitely.
And of course, your coach, if you are very transparent with your coach, he or she will let you know, okay, it's definitely a smart idea to rest
Yeah.
it or whatever conversation. Because if it's example, like within your first block and there's no competition anytime
Yeah,
soon, there's
like,
no pressure to
yeah.
get all the workouts in. on the
Exactly.
strict
So it's
schedule.
easier to adjust. So again, it depends on how much weaker you're feeling. If it's just like I'm a little tired, but I know I can still do it, then you can still do your workout.
Yeah.
Maybe do it with lighter weights or decrease the volume. But
Yeah.
it's just so important, whatever the case, man or woman, that you're able to listen to your body.
Okay. Oh, so does that during your period or that time of the month, does it affect? I'm assuming no, but does it affect your nutrition at that time as well? Like do some because I have a number of female clients that whenever it's that time they have cravings that they can't control, and of course me, it's hard for me to say, hey, don't do that. I'm like,
yeah.
does it affect you?
That's where I'm weak.
Okay, we all have our strengths and weaknesses.
So like at the gym, it's the same, but like if it's my time of the month and I'm just in my head the moment it enters, I want pizza. I won't be able to function. I will, but like it'll always be in my head. Like I gotta get that pizza. I gotta get whatever it is that I crave. I don't crave chocolate like here that a lot of girls crave that when it's their time of the month.
My wife. Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Not to out you, but you know.
So I don't really crave sweets, but I crave like meals, like fried food which still isn't good. So
it's still not in your caloric plan.
How do I adjust?
Or are you the type just, right? It's only going to be like a day or two anyway.
Yeah,
It's not gonna
and
affect
for
the
me, it
entire-
depends also on, again, like what you said, am I in season? Am I off season? If I'm off season, if I'm not trying to cut at the moment, then I'll be a little bit more generous to myself. If I'm watching my weight, like example last June when I was preparing for the meet and I was really like trying to get below 60, I really like was very strict. If I'm craving something, I'll just like hide in my room and turn on my anime and just drink my water and let it subside.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's the way to go about it. Just crouching out, like balling up, watching anime. That's the way
It's
to
like,
go.
oh, I'm so
I'm pretty
distracted
sure-
by this. Like I forgot I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's the way to go about it. But so another thing that I wanted to ask, as you were starting out to like get into powerlifting, I know you had your siblings with you. You've had some lifting experience already. Was there anything online that helped you be more familiar, or like, are there any, I guess, YouTube channels or any educational sources that you can recommend to any beginner, that has helped you, or were you just that naturally gifted that you didn't need any help at all?
I need until now I still need help.
So, are there any like pages or channels that you can
I've
recommend
never-
for anyone?
Well, obviously there's Squat University for me. That's always my go-to. But other than that, it was really just like YouTubing whatever particular thing I needed at that moment. TikTok.
Oh yeah, you do TikTok. How's that
Yeah,
for you?
they're
How's that
actually
going?
like if you get into the right algorithm and you're in the powerlifting algorithm, you actually see a lot of lifters posting videos or
Really?
like how-to videos. So
Those have been helpful
those
for
were
you.
helpful to me. Sometimes I discover problems I didn't even realize I had just from seeing a video that's like, hey, do you squat like this? Or
I love the many accents that you've had already. So TikTok, really, I didn't
yeah,
know that there's a lot of
YouTube,
education.
TikTok,
Okay.
yeah, I would more specifically, I would just search whatever I needed. But I think the most helpful was still at the end of the day having a coach.
You've had like how many coaches, or
Ever
like
since the
talk to
pandemic, I
different
had
coaches?
the 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's Raymond. But the one I actually started with was Grant.
Okay.
So that was when I was like, when I first decided like I want to get into powerlifting, but I don't know where to start. But at that time I was also like, but I want to make sure that I stay in shape.
Yeah.
Stay within my 60 to 63 kilo weight, and he helped me a lot with figuring out the right balance of my macros and
Oh, definitely. Grant. To those of you who don't know this, she is referring to Grant Tang.
Yes.
Very well established and like highly like appreciated coach here in the Philippines right now. He's also, but primarily because he's known primarily for his bodybuilding achievements here. And hopefully, hey Grant, if you're watching this, come on the show.
Oh yeah, he'd have a lot of interesting stuff.
I actually had I had an episode with him already before, but this is a previous attempt that I had. And it was a good episode. That one had one of the most views that I had, because I guess if you have his body to flex in the thumbnail, a lot of people are gonna click on that.
Yeah, Grant has a lot of interesting stuff to share, I think.
Yeah, of course, I'm 100% sure. Then after Grant, you had Dudes?
Yeah, it was Dudes. So Dudes was like the one who tweaked everything to be more like the technical stuff, I think, for powerlifting. Because before, I was really just lifting the way I was. Because we weren't I was never formally trained for powerlifting specifically. So I think there was still a lot of
things that you can learn and
that
adjust.
I had to improve in terms of like my form. And Dudes helped tweak that a lot. So I give my bench credit to him for sure.
Yeah, because Dudes Vitangkol is one of the strongest benchers here in the Philippines. Like really, really, not necessarily surprising, but he has a really thick torso.
Oh yeah.
So you can almost understand right away why he has such a huge bench as well. I believe it's around
160 was his last. The last time I saw him PR test or something.
Super strong.
Yeah.
He also helped me out with my bench a bit before. A very, very different approach. And of course, different approaches are something that you should welcome. You shouldn't be like fixated, oh, this is the only way to bench, this is the only way to, etc.
When I actually started with him, I was super confident with my conventional. I was like, yeah, I could deadlift 300 pounds, conventional. And then he saw my deadlift, and then he completely changed like my stance. Like, I switched to a narrow stance, what he calls the froggy stance, and I had a wide grip.
I know that stance.
And he taught me hook grip, which I never did before. And I remember starting out and being like, "Fuck my thumbs."
Wait, do you hook grip until now?
Yeah. And then ever since I started,
damn, how weak am I? Because I hate hook grip.
No, but I also watched a YouTube video, so he gave me a YouTube link on to help me with my hook grip by Candido.
Candido.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's like a 16-minute long video, but it was worth it. Like ever since I watched it, I don't always need chalk. I don't even I never use straps. Like everything fell into place with my hook grip. And yeah, like everything felt a lot better with my deadlift. So I mean, at the end of the day, I had these YouTube videos to guide me, but it was always with a coach that
it's always better if it's a two-way conversation, because I mean, YouTube is very, very helpful. The internet, so whether that be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of those sources can be really helpful. But I've seen a lot of people who just took those YouTube videos and they're like, okay, yeah, I got it. I watched a 10-minute video. I'm basically a pro right now. Yeah. And then when they try to apply it in the gym, they think they're doing it right.
Yes.
It's only until they have somebody else to look at their form and be like, hey, bro, you want to make this adjustment, and they're going to have like a eureka moment. Oh no, I've been doing it wrong the whole time. Yeah. So it's always going to benefit you more if it's a two-way conversation. So having a coach can be very, very helpful. And now you're with Raymond.
Yes.
It's only been we talked
3
about
weeks.
this.
Yeah.
It's only been 3 weeks, but of course, he's somebody that you can fully rely on when it comes to powerlifting. And as many times that I've mentioned on the show already, he's been doing it for 20 years already. He definitely has a good track record with regards to helping athletes to their fullest potential in powerlifting. So of course, you made a smart choice to take up his coaching. Okay, so Raymond again, 200 kilo deadlift by the end of next year, or
no, for sure.
No pressure.
No
Just
pressure.
it's basically just 50 kilos
It's
more
just
than her
like-
current max.
Just only 50. What?
That's only like a pair of reds, like one red aside.
Make it sound so easy.
All right. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that sure, we talked about how strong you are, that athletically you're definitely gifted. You have a lot of strength, but not only are you a strong lifter, but you are also very a talented artist. You mentioned at the start also that you're a graphic designer,
Yes, yeah.
and on her page as well. If you've been following her for quite a while, you can see that she does post some of her artwork, whether that be primarily like a mural style or
Yeah.
anything that she would do online. And it's great work. I mean, of course, I'm not an artist. I'm not a critique or whatever. But I think coming from a layman's perspective, if I see something, I'm like, hey, that looks good. So with that, and you mentioned that you've been doing it freelance.
Yeah.
How's that been for you so far?
It's chill. Like
It's
it's good. I wouldn't call myself a pro. Like honestly,
This girl is so humble, I swear.
Like when it comes to graphic design, anything digital, that's really not my strength. I shouldn't be saying this in case like anyone I know.
No, she's the
work
best. Hire
for.
her. Hire her.
But I
She'll beat you
actually
up.
prefer like painting, drawing, traditional stuff. So the graphic design, I wouldn't say I'm the best at that just because I prefer to do it the traditional way.
Like on mural or
Yeah.
wall.
So obviously like I prefer if someone asks me to like paint their wall compared to
Can you design this?
yeah,
for
like
me?
last
Yeah.
week my brother asked me it's his wedding this December and he's like, "Can you draw make an illustration of us for the wedding invite?" And I was like, "Hold up, I can't do anything digital." So everything I do for graphic design, it's more on like laying out social media.
Okay.
Just I don't want to say basic, but yeah, basic stuff. Nothing
The basics will take you far.
yeah,
right?
nothing like Nestor colors or something.
Oh, Nestor, somebody else that I will be having on the show.
Nothing. I can't draw from scratch digitally there. So everything I do, it's more of laying out, editing,
Okay.
tweaking photos, color correction. So it's for me at least. I think it's chill. Maybe if it's a person who didn't know graphic design did it, they wouldn't think it's chill. But it's nothing crazy.
Is this something that you think will you'd want, like with the traditional painting on the wall, is that something that you'd want to prioritize in the future? Or do you think career wise, if ever you've thought about it already,
I've thought
will you
about
lean
so many times.
the fitness or the art
yeah,
scene?
like it's always like back and forth. Like when I was in art school, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a back seat from powerlifting and just focus on
But wait, she's saying that she's taking a backseat. But I know you were in art school where again?
in Italy.
In Italy. She was there, but then almost all of her stories were still her in the Italian gym
Yeah.
lifting heavy.
I gotta maintain,
You gotta
I'm not
maintain.
gonna lose all my hard work.
exactly. So down the line,
Yeah, down. Well, in a perfect world, I'd still like to be able to do both. Like literally, right now, my career is half lifting. I half fitness, half art. Like 2 of my part-time jobs are art related, and the other 2 are as an instructor. Which one would I do? I don't think I'll ever.
I'm not forcing you. Hey, you gotta pick one, man.
I don't think I'll ever stop exercising, like lifting weights there. I don't think I'll ever get myself to, even if I'm not doing it competitively, for sure, like I'll always be lifting.
active. Yeah. As
yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I would like to grow more. I mean, art-wise, like I'd like to, because I feel like right now I'm still very beginner. I still have like a lot to learn in terms of like what my style is, what I want to do. I'm still kind of all over the place. I'm doing
Okay.
graphic design, but I prefer painting. So it's like, why am I doing that? No, I love my job.
Amazing. But of course, I mean, a lot of people sometimes they're gonna be surprised and because here in I guess in Instagram right now, majority of people know you because you're lifting.
Yeah.
And then
No one knows how to actually paint.
I think you should post it more. Like if you want to make
I
it
know,
half and
I
half.
know, I know I need to. It's one of my, if Toby's watching, she bugs me on that. Cause I share my art room with my sister. It's like her Discord room. So she's like, you haven't been painting in a while, and I'm just like, next month.
Next month.
Yeah.
It's always like, but yeah, if that's something that you're really interested in, like for you to grow, make it known to be half. Not. I mean, of course, Kyla the buff lifter. That's a great title to have, or like a great thing to be known for, sure. But if you also want to be like the buff artist, I think that sounds even better. And if you feel like that's really how you see yourself moving in the future, I'd love to see more posts from you about your art as well, because it's good. I mean, of course, I'm saying it's good because I have zero artistic skills. I have friends who are artists, so they're the ones that are gonna make up for it. But yeah, I'm really happy or excited to see all of the work that you'll be applying both in lifting.
Oh man, now I'm pressured to do more art.
So basically, what I'm asking from you, your take home from this episode is a 200 kilogram deadlift by the end of
and
2023.
5 paintings.
Like 5 murals, primarily in BGC.
Alright, I gotta find the wall first.
And I'm sure you're gonna get the job then. Of course, I know. Again, we haven't known each other the longest time, but ever so often that I see you online, I see a good amount of progress, both in your ability to coach and your output as an athlete as well. Okay, so that was the episode of me featuring Kyla, one of, again, the up-and-coming lifters and up-and-coming artist of the Philippines, specifically in the traditional painting. Graphic design, pwede rin. But of course, no, if you've been listening to this entire show, you know that she wants to paint more than graphic design. Is there, can you mention, again, everything that you are, all the gigs or the fitness gigs that you're working with, so that if ever anyone's interested to work with you, they can contact you there or contact that studio?
I work at the Movement Studio, and BGC 9th floor Minorca Tower.
Great.
The IG is at WeAreTMS, and I also do personal training at Rebel. Though right now I'm not taking more clients at the moment, but if I do, you know, just catch me on Rebel.
Just keep it on the notes. Just note it down.
Add it to your notes for future.
And then, of course, for any artistic work, I guess, just do your Instagram directly.
Yeah. Yes,
what's your Instagram again for everyone to know?
At Kyla Gancayco. KYLAGANCAYCO.
Wow,
I know how
okay.
to spell too. So
Amazing. So if you want a lifter and an artist that can spell, please go ahead and follow and message Kyla Gancayco. Kyla, thank you for being my first female guest. I'm pretty sure that this episode has helped a lot of lifters, both male and female, to understand their progress, to understand what they need to do. And of course, nothing else. You just have to keep on doing what you've been doing, because for the past, like, how many years already, you have definitely been inspiring. So just keep it up. And I'm pretty sure more and more women especially would be going underneath a barbell just because you posted online.
Keep posting then.
Keep posting. Again, lifting one, an art one. A lifting one, an art one.
Okay.
Aren't you like into social media managing? You can do
I
that.
thought this was just an interview. I didn't know there was like homeworks.
Yes. So again, Raymond, Kyla, 200 kilo deadlift by the end of 2023, and of course a lot more work, artwork from you. Again, Kyla, thank you for being on the show. We'll see you guys next week for episode 11.